So this question is testing us for the ability to process a complex list construction. So the question reads, self-compassion is made of mindfulness, the ability to do something, common humanity or empathy, and self-kindness, a recognition of something. Now the presence of this and confirms that what we're dealing with is a list construction. But let's see what exactly is going on here. Now in this list we have mindfulness, which is a noun, followed by a comma and then an appositive, which is a modifier to the noun. So the ability to do something is actually modifying mindfulness. And then again, after the appositive, we have a comma followed by another noun. And then we have or, and then another noun. And then we have the conjunction and, followed by self-kindness, a noun, and a recognition of something, which is the appositive for self-kindness. Now, in order to really work with the question, we should know how exactly a complex list is constructed in the first place. So let me give you an example here. The 3 smartphone manufacturers that dominate the global market are Samsung, a Korean manufacturer, Apple, a US manufacturer, and Huawei, a Chinese manufacturer. Now, because I read through the list like this, you might have been able to understand this sentence and it might seem just fine, but this is totally improper construction because what we need to have here is Samsung, which is a noun, and a Korean manufacturer, the appositive for the noun, grouped together. But because this and is put here and we're just placing a lot of commas in this list, Samsung, a Korean manufacturer, Apple, a US manufacturer, Huawei, all of these become 6 separate elements in the list itself. And that's exactly why this list construction should not work, because we know that Samsung and a Korean manufacturer are supposed to be grouped together. So if I want to group them together, the right way of constructing this list would be inserting a semicolon after these appositives. So that makes the list much clearer, more legible, and more logical because now we have separated the items of the list properly. So Samsung and a Korean manufacturer becomes one entity, Apple, a US manufacturer, becomes a second entity, and Huawei, a Chinese manufacturer, becomes a third entity. So if we take this construction aspect to the answer choices, we can see that again A is filled with commas. So this construction makes for a very invalid list. In the same way, B also just has commas after commas. So B goes off. Now C has a semicolon towards the end. But again, in front of the noun common humanity, it must have been a semicolon. C goes off. And we can see that that semicolon is present in D in front of common humanity and also in front of self-kindness. So this list construction is proper. We can see that there is a semicolon here, but after this construction to empathize with something, we do not have a semicolon before the and. So this construction is invalid as well. So D delta has to be the answer. So when we look at the and, we might immediately be tempted to check for parallelism and we could spend a lot of time digging around in the list. But we should also keep in mind that construction aspects are very, very important. And what this question was really testing for is exactly that, the construction aspect of the list. The same concept was tested in a question previously from the official guide 2018. It was question 692 on tropical bats. So I would request you to check that question out and try to apply this exact concept of list construction in that question as well. And you'll see why exactly the right answer choice works there. All right. I'll throw a link to the question in the descriptor below for your reference.